Hello everyone, it's the Historical Gamer once again, and today we're going to be taking a look at a brand new game that's coming out today, in fact, called Carrier Deck. Carrier Deck is the newest game in the Every Single Soldier stable of games. Every Single Soldier, the same developers that made Afghanistan 11 and Vietnam 65. This game takes a little bit of a different tune, and we'll look at putting you in control of the carrier air wing of a United States nuclear aircraft carrier, nuclear-powered aircraft carrier, as you attempt to juggle the duties of what I would imagine is a CAG and a deck officer. Essentially, your job is to get aircraft off the deck and on mission, hitting targets and intercepting incoming threats, all while ensuring the smooth running of the carrier's air wings. So you'll deal with multiple threats, multiple strikes, as well as retrieving aircraft, sending aircraft out, and all of the like. So we're going to go ahead and jump in. This is very much going to be a first look of the game. I did play through the tutorial very basically, so I have a somewhat some sort of grasp of the mechanics of the game. You can see here there's actually 3 game modes. So there's a quick game option that basically just kind of you pick a difficulty and it throws you into a randomly generated game, I suppose. There's a survival mode, which basically just throws increasing levels of threats and challenges at your carrier till eventually you're overwhelmed. I would think of it almost in like a zombie wave, kind of like if you look at the first-person shooters that have zombie games where you just get increasing waves of enemies that come at you, and no matter how well you do, eventually you will be overwhelmed. This is just a challenge to see how long you can survive. And then there's the campaign aspect, which is a series of pre-scripted missions that with certain objectives that you have to accomplish, and that's what I'm going to be looking at here today. So we're going to be going with the South Pacific, which is the first. So you can see here there are, 8 different campaigns. The first one, the North Atlantic campaign, is very much just a tutorial. Kind of shows you the basics of playing the game. I played that a little while ago. So things like fueling and launching aircraft, arming your aircraft, initiating cargo missions, repairing aircraft, using the elevators, detecting enemy threats, launching ground strikes, and the like. The South Pacific campaign will start off, it doesn't really tell you much about these campaigns other than where they're located. I can't click on any of these to see what the missions are composed of. And even when I go to South Pacific, all I can see is this first mission. So the mission is going to be patrol coastal waters in the South Pacific. Intel expects fast-moving enemy surface vessels, so probably dealing with enemy surface vessels that we're going to have to strike out against and destroy. And it said, I believe this log thing means we've got E2C Hawkeyes in the air already searching for enemy surface threats. If not, that's what we'll need to do. So we'll go ahead and we'll get started. This game will be available on PC and iPad. Just double-checked, and that's what it says. Matrix does that with a lot of their games. Even the Panzer Corps series, which was definitely designed for desktop, was ported to mobile. It was a full port. They seem very focused on, if you can make it work, take the entire game as it is on PC and put it on mobile. I don't think there's a designated country per se. I haven't seen anything that says you're fighting against X or Y enemies, so I guess we'll see here. Alright, so welcome aboard to your first deployment. Adhere to the following protocols and you will complete your mission. Always have search aircraft in the air, surface, and sub channels. Keep runway clear at all times. Keep as many fueled aircraft on the upper deck as possible. Maintain your aircraft. Okay, that's a good idea, I suppose. As this is your first deployment, the EC-2 Hawkeye early warning aircraft is already in the air searching for surface threats. In future deployments, you will need to queue mission and launch your own search missions. Good hunting. Okay, so it says 3 waves. I imagine there's going to be 3 more waves of enemy threats that we have to deal with here. In addition, just for good practice, I'm going to go ahead and get some search aircraft up. So we're going to go ahead and queue a mission. We'll go ahead and by the way, guys, let me know if you can hear me okay. But we're going to go ahead and click on this icon here. We're going to click on queue, which queues up a submarine search mission. Then we're going to left-click on the helicopter here, highlight over the submission, and we'll see our crews begin to equip this aircraft with anti-submarine warfare ordnance. Okay, we also have another E2C, so I'm actually going to go ahead and queue this guy for an air search mission. So we're going to go ahead and click the air search. We're going to go ahead and select the E2C, and then we're going to go ahead and prepare him, because I don't know if there will be any enemy airstrikes which will come against us. We can see there's looks like a patrol craft coming against us. So we're going to go ahead and queue an F-18 strike against that. So we're loading these aircraft up to deal with enemy surface vessels. And you can see here, this thing is moving in pretty quick. If it gets to the end of this little graph here, it will hit us. So our goal is going to be to launch this F-18 to strike out against it. So go over here, bring the F-18 over to one of our catapults. And this is the thing I don't really get. I feel like it's because I think this guy was actually queued up for... let's see here real quick. Let's get this guy off. Here's what I don't quite understand. I queued up a surface strike, I think.
Hawk 370, mission prep.
But I can't launch him, which I don't understand what I'm doing wrong. Alright, so we're going to get hit. Because this comes all the way to the end. Oh. Apparently we can't suffer any damage, so that's fun. So I did play through the tutorial, and it seems a little bit tricky in terms of like the order that you do things, in terms of ensuring that you don't die. So let's kind of avoid loading any of our aircraft with anything. We're going to avoid doing anything. We're actually just going to hit the fast forward button. Okay. So we've got a warship detected. The surface strike. We're going to queue up an F-18. We're going to go ahead and load him up. Let's see what happens here. We'll bring him over here. So it's almost like you have to wait to load your aircraft up until you've got an enemy on the map. I suppose that prevents you from being able to kind of game the system and load up your aircraft ahead of time, predicting what the enemy's going to do. You can see as our fighter flies over the enemy target, it's destroyed. So now that this aircraft is loaded up, we'll go ahead and launch him. And we can go ahead and launch him off as well. So if we click on the control tower here, we can see we've got some aircraft below decks. Alright, so aircraft is coming in. We got another hostile warship coming in. We'll go ahead and click here. I don't know what's... I don't know why we're... Okay, that alert was basically telling us that we've got our runway blocked. So essentially you've got to make sure your runway is free, because if you got, you know, aircraft on your runway, then you can't land any new incoming aircraft. Alright, so they're getting a little bit closer. Alright, so again, just kind of launching these aircraft. Another hostile warship. So again, we'll have to queue another one up. This is I assume thus far, a very easy mission, just because this is literally this is your very first mission. So, whoops, let's get him off the deck. Alright, so he's dead, and this guy's ready to go as well. You can fast forward by clicking this little button down here. Alright, click to land, click to launch. Get him off the runway. Let this guy land. And you can imagine as you get further into the game how this will get a little bit more complex. And I believe that's the end of this mission. I guess we'll find out here. Yep. Park aircraft, complete level. Alright, there you go. Apparently 5-star success, and we were promoted to Petty Officer First Class. So... Alright. That was not easy per se, but it certainly was manageable. Now, again, you can imagine as there's multiple threats coming in from air, land, and sea, that it will become increasingly complex and challenging. Well, I kind of figured it out now after a lot of stumbling around, is that you've got to launch your aircraft in sequential orders. So if you have missions queued, you can't launch another mission out of order, which doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but that's what it is, I guess. Fast attack craft and submarines are in the region, so this does appear to be a multifaceted threat. We're going to go ahead and get a search mission for subs up. Do we have any E2C? Like, I don't see any E2Cs. So how am I going to search for enemy aircraft? Is there anything below deck? Okay, yes there is. All right. Bring these elevators down and get our aircraft up. So I'm going to put as many of my aircraft on the deck as possible. So we'll go ahead and also assign this guy to sub duty. This guy to sub duty. Actually, no, we don't want to do that.
Sparrow 479 on mission prep.
Okay. Why is it taking so long? I thought I told multiple aircraft to go here. Queue him for surface. He's good to go. Alright, so I think I'm kind of figuring it out here. So it's more complex than this, guys. As you get further into later missions, you do have to send things out like early warning aircraft, and you do. Well, obviously I'm doing that now, but you also have to send out things like electronic warfare aircraft. You have to create strike packages, I believe.
Mongoose 412 mission ready.
All right, so he's good. He's good. And here we go. Clear the deck. Alright, so the enemy sub is dead, which is good. So hopefully we've kind of figured it out now. The annoying thing now is I've got to get him out before anything else, which is, I think, kind of silly that I would have to send a cargo aircraft off before I could do anything else. But alright, so I think I've figured it out after a little bit of stumbling around here. Okay, so you can see there's 4 waves of enemies that we're going to have to deal with. I'm going to go ahead and get a E2C queued up to prepare for a, I don't know what to call it, basically a surface reconnaissance mission. We're going to go ahead and we've got to send the elevators down by clicking this little down arrow, and that'll bring the elevators down so we can bring aircraft from underneath in the hangar deck below decks. So we'll go ahead and get some F-18s on here. We'll get some helicopters on the elevators as well, and while all of that's happening, we'll go back up here. We'll get our E2C up on a catapult. We'll click on this, which is the naval threat. Oh shit! And we will create a mission to have our E2C go up and search for enemy surface threats. Meanwhile, we've got an aircraft coming in, a Viking aircraft, which I believe is more utilized in anti-submarine warfare patrols. But we'll go ahead and bring him in, let him land, click on the runway to have him land. We'll go ahead and take a look at the landing camera. We can see him come in, catch a wire, and he's now on the runway. Now, one important piece to this game is making sure you clear the runway very quickly, because, again, you will quickly learn that if you don't keep your runway clear, the enemy will, well, not the enemy, you'll crash your own planes into it as you'll quickly crash aircraft into it. Basically, you have aircraft stack up. So if I just let this guy sit here and I have another aircraft come in and land, then, you know, I'm going to be in trouble because it's going to crash into the aircraft that's sitting there waiting to land. Sorry if I'm stumbling over my words here. This is, as I said earlier in the video, this is very much a first playthrough, so this is my first look at the game. I did stream briefly about, 20 minutes ago. Let's see here. Do we have increasing numbers of Vikings coming in, or what's... EWA... Seems like we've got to deal with just Viking aircraft being thrown at us or something. Alright.
Hostile submarine detected.
Oh shit. Hostile enemy sub detected. Now fortunately I've got some helicopters queued up to deal with that, but I probably should also send a anti-submarine patrol out as well. So you can see here we're sending those helos out. We just destroyed the one sub. Alright, so let's go ahead and queue this guy up for airstrike. Let's get these guys kind of on like a ready alert, so we'll go ahead and send these guys on the front catapults. We've got another sub incoming, so we'll have to set another mission against it. And there you go. Enemy warship detected. Alright, so this says 2, which basically means we're going to need to launch 2 strike aircraft out against it. We'll go ahead and do that. We'll queue up a mission against it. So we've got one ready to go. We've got the second ready to go. We've got both those aircraft out and engaging the enemy cruisers coming in toward us. So larger enemy warships do take more equipment to destroy, I suppose is the best way of putting it. We've got another sub incoming. So when you have like some of the earlier missions, you've got really small targets, really small enemy patrol boats, basically, and a single F-18 can deal with that. But if you've got cruisers, obviously those take 2 because we just destroyed one. It took a strike package of 2, 2 aircraft to attack it. And the larger the threat, the more that you have to deal with. Now, one thing I saw a lot of in my stream, because I'm somewhat incompetent, is if you don't, again, I already mentioned this, but if you don't clear the runway, your aircraft, when they crash into each other, they will damage your ship. So they can collide with each other, in essence. Okay, I'm going to create a new sub-patrol mission here just because this guy's almost done. He's coming in landing. He's exhausted his fuel and he's coming in, so I'm going to send another one out to keep that patrol pushed out. I should probably set up a Alright, there you go. So I just deployed a F-18 basically to act as early warning. And in doing so, we detected an incoming enemy aircraft, so... again, you can only see enemy vehicles as far out as this graph extends. So basically, the E2C gives you really long detection range within one mission set, but it doesn't give you detection range within all of these other mission sets. So we've got another enemy sub coming in. We're going to go ahead and create a mission for that. Oh, shit. I never gave it the mission to destroy the sub. I just gave it a patrol mission. God damn it. Alright, so when you do launch a strike mission against an enemy, you actually have to click on the unit when you want to destroy. That's when you click queue the mission, and that's when the chopper or whatever you have queued up will actually engage the enemy. So we've got aircraft coming in. I'm going to create another surface search. I'm going to use my Viking to search for surface aircraft. And I can't, you can see I've got an enemy aircraft coming in, but I can't launch my anti-airstrike. Oh shit. I can't launch my anti-airstrike until I clear the mission in front of it in the queue. You can see there I just had 2 aircraft crash on top of each other. So now that that mission's out, I can go ahead and launch the follow-on mission. And you can see here I've now queued up another anti-surface mission by clicking on that and selecting the mission go. We've got 2 aircraft armed with anti-ship missiles on their way out. I need to pay more attention to my deck. And you can see the ship damage is captured up in the top left as well. So, oh, got a incoming submarine. I should probably pay attention to that. Alright, hopefully he gets out there in time. So managing your strikes, but also managing your incoming aircraft is obviously critical in the game as well. Alright, so we got the sub. Hostile sub. Go ahead and queue that mission up. Get him off the deck. Uh-oh. Get off the deck. Whew, that was close. Oh no! God damn it. So yeah. If you're like me and you're not very good at this game, and apparently because I've got aircraft burning on the deck, that next aircraft that just landed crashed on top of on top of the fireball. So it takes a little bit of time for your crew to put your damaged vehicles back together, if you will, or kind of clear the landing deck. Okay, so we just need to recover our incoming aircraft. And when you don't have any strikes to manage, it becomes a lot simpler to keep track of your aircraft here. You can see you really have a lot of aircraft that can kind of stack up on top of each other, though, here pretty quickly. So it's important to pay attention, as my multiple failures in this mission show. Okay, so we're recovering all our aircraft. You don't have to click, by the way, as obviously is the case. You can click to land the aircraft early? Okay. I don't know why he just randomly crashed on his own. That's weird.
Hawk 370 inbound to landing. Jackal 217 inbound to landing.
Okay, so we parked all our aircraft and victory. So only 3 stars, just because we obviously had a couple of hiccups in the course of this mission. So just a couple of closing thoughts on the game. It is a game that's available on PC. It's available on iPad. It is a game that's in Steam, so you can certainly pick it up there. It's coming out today, and it's very much a carrier management game. So it's not in the vein of like a war game traditionally per se. You've got to, obviously, as you can see in this video, you've got to manage multiple different aspects of being a carrier commander. So certainly a little bit different. I find it interesting and challenging. It's more along the lines of almost like a tycoon type game than a traditional war game, but it's a nice change of pace. So let me know your guys' thoughts below. I hope you enjoyed the video. Until next time, guys, this is the Historical Gamer saying thank you for watching, and I'm out.